Howdy, welcome back. In the past video, we got the Raspberry Pi set up with SD card formatted. In this video, we'll actually begin connecting the Raspberry Pi up to a computer screen, monitor, keyboard, mouse, and just kind of walk through all that, and also the installation, continue and finish that up. Because right now you should have your SD card that's all formatted, ready to go with noobs. Raspberry Pi, whichever one you're using. Again, I'm using my Raspberry Pi 3. Keyboard, mouse, I've got mine here ready to go, and then an HDMI cable that connected to a monitor, and a power source. I've got an AC cable connected from the official one from Raspberry Pi. So, how do you get everything else set up? We'll take the Raspberry Pi, depending on where your SD card is. Usually in these, they're underneath. You'll put the SD card, slide it right in, and there shouldn't be any effort needed to just slide it in. If you're trying to force it in, it's not going to work. With that, next up, connect the monitor, HDMI cord, so just plug that in. I typically do the power cord last, that way I got everything else connected, that way I don't have to rush to get everything else connected. So I'll plug the keyboard and mouse in. Don't mind the AC cord just falling off. Both those in the USB ports. And then, with all that connected, ready to go, plug the AC cable in. If I put it in the right way. As you can see, powering up with the green light. And on the screen, here we go. So we want to see, if you see the rainbow splash screen, you know it's booting up. And here we go. On your first installation, it's going to actually resize everything correctly to your SD card, however big size it may be. And partnered with noobs, at least, it actually tries to auto-detect which Raspberry Pi you're using. So, as you can see on the bottom, it's set to English UK. Make sure to change this to US, that way it's all ready to go. Even with keyboards already ready to go. So, as you can see, there are actually different operating systems here. We've got Raspbian, which is like the full-on desktop, and LibreElic. LibreElic is a media kind of centered operating system. For the purposes of this series, we're not actually going to be using it. So we're actually going to use Raspbian. We're only going to select Raspbian. And it will install that. As long as you can see here, we've got enough space for it. So let's click install. And it's giving the warning of making sure to install it. And this is what we want to see. It's actually going to start writing all the data. It'll expand all the data that's kind of archived onto the SD card. That way, when it's all finished up, it will actually boot right into Raspbian. I'm going to kind of pause this part of the video and then open it back up whenever it gets finished. Okay, it's almost done here by the looks of it, so let the installer finish up. But hopefully yours also has done this. It took maybe 5 minutes. I wouldn't say it took too long. Okay, so we actually just got it done here. So it's installed. It's actually going to do it's actually going to reboot. Let that finish up real quick. Here we go. It's all installed. It's going to boot up. Telling us welcome. They should just replace the howdy. But it's going to actually get all the services started up, like all the fun stuff, all the programs that needs to start up. Okay, and here we are. There's actually this fun little tutorial that Raspberry Pi has. We'll set the country, of course, to US, American, cool, time zone. We're technically Chicago time zone. And there, it's going to set all that stuff for us and make sure my keyboard is actually types US characters. And same for time zone, it's going to set that correctly. Let's let that finish up doing that. And here it actually will tell you to change the password. Definitely do that. change. But I put this down and change it with both my hands real quick. And here we'll ask about how it looks on the computer on the screen. Basically, it's gonna check like to make sure it's not going too far in the screen. Mine actually fits pretty good. Wi-Fi wise, if you're on TAMU-link, which is what I am, you'll have to have a special configuration. I'm actually gonna have a link posted to that configuration that you can just copy and change it, because TAMU-link is a very weird Wi-Fi connection. If you're like in your apartment or anywhere that's off campus, generally like a normal Wi-Fi connection, you could easily just click on it and it'll actually ask, you can just put your information in. So like you'll put your password in and it'll be perfectly fine. But I'll have to update all this later since I can't run on the Wi-Fi. And then restart, that way all the settings will take effect. If this doesn't like remind you of Windows, it better. But at least versus Windows, this is faster because there's a whole lot less stuff you're worrying about. There's some fun trivia over waiting. Actually, that screen, this is all like very upgraded versus what I had like a year ago. Like that was a whole boot screen. Recently they've actually did a whole upgrade of their stuff here. So up here would be your Wi-Fi stuff, Bluetooth, because the 3B Plus does have Bluetooth, so you can actually check Bluetooth here. Audio, change that here. Check calendar. Very fancy. Basically, it's like your Windows taskbar, you know. You got terminal, file manager, web browser. You got all your programs. Definitely just take a look around of what you've got here. Raspberry Pi has done a great job with like getting things on here. Oh, like it's Minecraft. It's the very downgraded version, but it still is Minecraft. Pretty good, actually. Let's pull it up. Just create a new world just to show it off. Wow, I'm in Minecraft. And boom, it is Minecraft, people. Pretty cool. This tiny computer can play Minecraft. Place your videos, VLC, look at images, web browser, Chromium. Basically, it's like stripped down Chrome. It's like Google's base they use to build Chrome. Let that load up. Got all your programming software that you can look into, Mathematica. That's like, or Maple if you're used to that. It's math based. Java, BlueJ and Greenfoot. Scratch, it's very visual based. But I'll get more stuff. Also look here, some configuration stuff if you really want to mess with that, all the nitty-gritty stuff. These two. File Manager. Kind of like your Windows File Explorer. So you've got, this is actually the whole system, like all the files on the computer. Like with Windows, you have like your C directory, Windows 32. Linux is a different file structure. It actually has a root directory, which is what this bar is. It's called the root directory. Bin, which is actually like all your executable programs, like anything you want to run. Boot is typically like anything important, like the kernel, like for Linux is here. Home, this is actually like your main directory. Like whenever, for like the user, if you boot, like your main folder that you're in is your home directory. So there's only one user, so Pi. And then you've got already a few folders already to start off with. They do that instantly, put those for you. more tutorial stuff. Root file system, you can't really touch that one because you're not root user. Root's like basically the administrative privileges. You can kind of mess with that later on in terminal. The rest of these are kind of where other programs are stored. Close out of this. Terminal. So, there we go. Raspberry Pi can only handle so much. It's like, it's doing its best life. And so this is the one thing that many people might be scared of, right? It's a terminal. It's actually very easy. Lots of things in Linux, it has like mnemonics, like ways to remember it, such as like ls. This basically means list directories. ls, it sounds like list. Wow. Wow. These are all folders. It'll show, not only will it show folders, it also show files too. I just don't really have anything in these. Like, I don't have anything in this directory besides just these folders. By files, it'll show it too. If you know what folder you're in, print working directory. Wow, that's what folder I'm in. That's kind of like some basic stuff. In terminal, you can actually go to different directories. So like you could go to downloads, tab, so I'm going to change directory, cd, change directory, and downloads. And now I'm in downloads. And there's nothing here because it's nothing. That's like some very basic stuff to like move around. So you can go into that folder. Let's say you want to go back, go back folder, right? Change directory, and then ... is a special case that just puts you back one. So like I'm gonna actually go back into downloads and create a folder. So I'm going to actually do make directory, since a folder is a directory in Linux. And there's a folder called test. I'm going to change into that directory. So now I'm 2 folders in from my home. So technically, really cool thing, that would go back 1. So technically that'll put me in downloads. That could be, this was me in test. This was me back in my home directory. It's really cool. Another way is if I just did, sorry, I keep pressing the wrong button. We're back in downloads test. If you just want to get back to your home directory, you can actually just do tilde. It's basically an abbreviation of home / your user. It's like a shortcut for Linux. So I can change directory back to home. That's like very quick and easy, kind of how to get around the command line, how to move folders around. Let's even create a file. There's actually lots of different file editors besides all the ones that we have here on Raspbian. So I'm going to go into documents. So cd documents. Nothing here. So Nano is a very easy editor to create something. We're going to create a text file in documents. So that's why I'm just naming it test. So this is very basic console editor. Forget an IDE. This is, you easily edit code in terminal. So I can just say, hello, hello, TAMUmake. So I do, these characters on each of these are basically control. So control, I'm going to say, okay, you want to name that file. Press enter, boom. So now this file, Control X, is created, called Test. If we like do a quick check on it, so cat actually lets you just take a look at it real quick. Wow. Hello, TAMUmake. Very basic. Hello world, create a file in Linux. I go. Click the wrong one. Documents, here's your test.txt. So that's the terminal way to edit it. You also have mouse pad. Hey, it looks like Notepad. Guinea. Basically, it's like an IDE. It's very nice and clean. Definitely a Raspberry, and love to use it. And how I got to those, I just right-clicked on it in my file browser. So you could either use terminal and just go that way, or use the file browser, go there to wherever you're editing, and edit files that way. Basically, different processes to do the same job. Whichever you prefer, that's up to you. If you have a computer screen, graphical is always really nice to just see it. I'm just gonna mess around in Guinea real quick. So there, it saved it. And if we check it again, we just check it here. Wow, it's there too. Basically just like Windows, how it creates files and stores it. But in the end, it really is like similar to Windows in a lot of ways. So very graphical. The only thing is like you got terminal. I mean, it's a lot more easy to use, I think, versus PowerShell. I spent too much time trying to learn it for a job. But we'll actually dive more into this in further tutorials where we'll be coding things in the sense of maybe a Guinea or in terminal. That'll be up to your personal preference. But as far as this video goes, I hope this was a very helpful intro for you to get Raspberry Pi installed, ready to go, and just like kind of messing around. I definitely encourage you to just start probing around, like look at the stuff in here of like what you have to mess with, because there's so many things here that to mess with, like whether you be changing your background or I don't know what this one is, but we're going to test it. Again, all the fun stuff to try out. Yeah. Whether it be looking at your appearance stuff, just like what's in your background, like Windows, or changing this top bar with the menu bar editor. Give it a shot, start messing around, get used to it, because in the next video we'll be trying to do some more coding, like trying to just learn about how to code on the Raspberry Pi, because it is a computer. Once this connects to the internet, you basically have a $20 computer with you, besides your keyboard, mouse, and your monitor. That's crazy. It's doing the same stuff like as a laptop or your phone, things like that. Just some food for thought.